All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We might have a few more that trickle in as we start, but that is a-okay. I just want to remind everyone, just make sure you're muted. I think everyone is. So good morning. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I am very happy with how many people are joining us, so this is awesome. If as you're joining, you go to say something, and you notice you can't hear yourself, I have muted you, so don't be offended, please. My name is Stephanie Skavdahl, and I'm the Associate Resource Advisor for Outlook, Nebraska. My role is to help our associates at Outlook access resources in the community that meet their needs. So this is anything from housing, health, transportation, you name it, I try to do it. I also help our associates to navigate the Social Security system and provide any guidance that I can on benefits related issues. Today's meeting is going to focus on the Social Security benefits, those being SSI and SSDI, or Title 12 benefits, and the CARES Act. Please feel free to send questions throughout my talk, either in the group chat you'll see on your screen, or by texting the phone number 402-378-3235. I will be answering any pre-submitted questions that we had between yesterday and this morning at the end, and then also any other questions you guys have throughout the presentation. Okay? I want to begin today by saying that the information that I'm about to share is based off my knowledge of the Social Security system and what has been published and made available to me. Some things I may not have the answer to right now. That's solely because the information has not been available yet. There's still things coming out from the IRS. There's still things coming out from Social Security that we're kind of waiting on. So I'm gonna answer things to the best of my knowledge and go off of that, okay? We will begin today by talking a little bit about what Social Security is and isn't doing right now, because I think there is some confusion on that, and just to provide a little bit more clarity. Some of you may know that Social Security offices are not open for walk-in visits at this time. Offices are still open, but just for call-ins. This is to protect not only their employees, but the older population and individuals that come into the offices. Social Security has also made some changes in how they're conducting business at this time. So I'm gonna go over some of those kind of more noteworthy things that they have kind of changed up in the last couple weeks. There are, some of you may have appointments that you've already made and have scheduled with Social Security. Social Security will be calling you to reschedule or complete those appointments over the phone. It is good to know that these calls will come from private phone numbers and not a government phone number. There are, unfortunately, scam calls going around right now with everything that's going on. So it's just good to be mindful of this. We will talk a little bit more about the current scams a little bit later. Social Security employees will never threaten you or ask for any form of payment. This is just another way to tell if the call is a scam or not. Some of you may have hearings scheduled, whether that be for overpayments or just benefits and general hearings. Social Security, like the personal appointments, will be calling you prior to that hearing to offer hearings by phone. During this time, Social Security is extending their deadlines whenever possible. So if they have asked you to contact them by a certain date, please do not go to the office. They will follow up with you when they reopen. Right now, Social Security has suspended some of its services. These services include, they will not be completing any medical continuing disability reviews at this time. So if you're up for review, please know that this will not be happening and that Social Security will follow up with you when they reopen. Where possible, they are suspending processing and collecting of overpayments. So if this applies to you, feel free to contact your local office to ask more questions about that. They're not conducting organization or individual representative payee accountings. They're not processing any third-party requests for information, except for the appointed representatives and representative payees. They also aren't processing any Freedom of Information Act requests. Also, to back up a little bit about the deadline. So timeframes for appeals and other documentation will be extended due to this closure. I still recommend getting in your documentation if you're able to, just to kind of stay up on things, especially monthly reporting, but do know that there's a little bit of leniency during this time with those things, okay? Also, it is good to be mindful that since the offices are closed, wait times on the phone are going to be longer. I know that it's never fun calling Social Security. It's always a long wait. It's always very frustrating and irritating. But right now, especially, they're not necessarily staffed how they normally are. They already are low staffed. But it's good to know, and going into those calls, that you might be on the phone for 90 minutes before you get to somebody. So just be mindful of that. Social Security is encouraging, and I would encourage also for you to utilize their online services during this time. Those can be accessed at www.ssa.gov. But just being mindful, if you're going to call into them, expect to be on hold for a while. So moving on to the CARES Act and economic impact payment. So what do you need to know? So first off, let's see who's eligible. Tax filers with adjusted gross income up to $75,000 for individual. Yeah, $75,000 for an individual, and up to $150,000 for married couples. Joint returns will receive a full payment. For filers with income above those amounts, the payment is reduced by $5 for each 100 above the $75,000 to $150,000 threshold. Single filers with income exceeding $99,000 and $198,000 for joint filers with no children are not eligible. Social Security recipients and railroad retirees who are otherwise not required to file a tax return are also eligible. So how much are these checks going to be? Check amounts will be $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 for married couples, and up to $500 for each qualifying child. To sum it all up, yes, Social Security beneficiaries, seniors, and railroad retirees would be eligible for a stimulus check. Some more Social Security specific information. On April 1st, the U.S. Department of Treasury announced that Social Security beneficiaries who are not typically required to file tax returns will not need to file an abbreviated tax return to receive an economic impact payment. So there's nothing you need to do. The IRS will be using your 2019 tax return or 2018 if you filed them. 2018 if you haven't filed your 2019 yet. For those who fall into that typically not required to file tax returns category, the IRS will be using information from Form SSA 1099 or Form RRB 1099. And these are the forms that Social Security sends you at the end of each year to let you know how much they sent you throughout the year. So those are the forms they will be using. Since these forms would not have information regarding dependents if they're using these Social Security forms, the dependent amount may be left off your check if you do have dependents in the house. These individuals would just receive the $1,200 per person amount. It is important to note that Social Security Administration cannot answer questions related to the economic impact payments. The Treasury, not Social Security, will make those direct payments. So don't call Social Security. They won't have any answers for you regarding those. So some more Medicare and Medicaid specific information that has come out with the stimulus package. The stimulus package will provide extra funding for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services in an attempt to assist nursing homes in keeping their facilities safe and preventing the spread of the virus. They're looking at telehealth options for those recipients. and looking for temporary waivers for the face-to-face visits that are sometimes required. The package will also allow the Medicare beneficiaries to receive a 3-month supply of medications through Part D, unless the refill of the drug is prohibited. Some programs have been extended as part of the stimulus as well, such as the community-based long-term care spousal impoverishment protections, that is a mouthful, and the money follows the person under Medicaid. This provides the states to cover employment supports, housing, and other services for that individual with disabilities, so that the individuals with disabilities, can transition from institutional facilities to homes in the community. This will extend through November. The CARES Act also extends mental health services under Medicaid until November 30th as well. So I'm going to go back for a minute, and talk about benefits and the economic impact payment in the language that's in the bill. So this is language taken directly from the bill. So any refund made by any individual under this title shall not be taken into account as income and shall not be taken into account as a resource for a period of 12 months from receipt for purposes of determining the eligibility of such individuals for benefits or assistance under any federal program or under any state or local program financed in whole or in part with federal funds. So thinking about that and looking at the individual programs and how they work from an individual beneficiary standpoint and also the individual programs in Social Security, I want to again say that Social Security has not made any official statements on how the checks may affect benefits. This is strictly going off my assumption and my knowledge of the system and what's been put out so far. But I just want to make that really clear for everyone. And when we do have more concrete information, whether Social Security comes out with something, we will definitely be sharing that information. But looking at SSI benefits and Medicaid, I would imagine that it would be disregarded for SSI purposes. It would be treated like a tax refund and be just disregarded. The stimulus would only be counted as a resource if it is not spent within a certain number of months. So that, based on my knowledge of the system of SSI and Medicaid, that would be how I would assume it will function. For SSDI and Title II beneficiaries, the stimulus check shouldn't matter or affect those benefits since it's unearned income. It is not income that you have earned. It would be just like your tax refund. It would be just like holiday pay or PTO pay. It would not count against you. Again, these are my assumptions based off how the program works. The only way to know for sure is when Social Security publishes something, which they haven't yet. So how will checks be deposited? Distribution will begin in the next 3 weeks. I heard on the radio today, maybe in the next 2 weeks. So probably within a month, people will start to see those checks coming in. No action is required by you. This will all happen automatically. You will not need to do anything. You don't need to contact anyone. It will happen automatically. Checks will be deposited directly into your bank account based on your tax information or your Social Security benefits. So for example, if you're an SSI or SSDI Title II beneficiary, it will automatically go into the bank account your check goes into. So if you receive an SSDI check, goes into your regular checking account every month, that's how this check will work too. That's how they're going to do it. If you receive a paper check, which I don't think they even offer that anymore, but if you do, they will mail out a paper check to you. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of talk about some of those scams that you should be aware of in regards to benefits and the stimulus checks that are kind of going on right now. If you receive any calls, emails, or other communications claiming to be the IRS, US Treasury, Social Security Administration, or other government offices offering COVID-19 related grants or economic impact payments in exchange for personal financial information, an advance fee or a charge of any kind. This includes gift cards, that kind of thing. Do not respond. Those are scams. Some noteworthy ones that are going around right now are fraudulent letters threatening suspension of SSA benefits due to office closures. This is not true. You will receive your check during this time. They're even saying even if you aren't due benefits based on your substantial gainful activity, you will still get a check. So just being mindful of that. Another scam going around is offering COVID-19 tests to Medicare beneficiaries in exchange for personal details. So just be on the lookout for that. If you receive any of these calls or communications, please report them as you normally would to the Inspector General's office. This can be done through the hotline by calling 800-869-4499 or visiting their website at oig.justice.gov/hotline. Again, I'll have that on the resource list we'll post with the recording of this for everyone. Okay, so I'm going to move into some of the sent-in questions to cover those. So first question we have are seniors on Social Security and/or disability now eligible to receive a stimulus payment? If so, how much, and will it be deposited into our checking account, etc., even if we don't file taxes in 2019? Yes, seniors, Social Security beneficiaries, and railroad retirees will receive a check. The IRS will direct deposit those for you or mail out checks to these beneficiaries based on where you either have your tax refund go or your monthly benefits check. If you haven't filed taxes in 2018, 2019, they will go off the form I mentioned earlier, Form SSA 1099, or the Form RRB 1099. Individuals should receive that $1,200. Second question, do we have to submit record or receipt of getting stimulus checks like we would when we submit income? Again, Social Security has not put out any information regarding this yet. However, my assumption based on my knowledge of the system is no. Again, this would not count as earned income for SSDI or Title II beneficiaries. So the stimulus would have no effect on the benefits. For SSI and Medicaid beneficiaries, it should be disregarded. Again, these are my assumptions. When Social Security comes out with that information, we'll be sure to share it too. Third question I have is, as a licensed vendor in the state of Nebraska and having a contract employee, are there any benefits afforded to me under the CARES Act? So a few things that I found regarding this would be, right now for self-employed individuals and contract workers, you can get unemployment benefits. So that's a big thing. So if that applies to you, go ahead and apply for unemployment benefits. Some other things to look into as well is to look into the Small Business Paycheck Protection Program. That is with the bill. You may qualify for that. Again, I have a link to that for a resource that we'll post. Applications for that begin today for small businesses, and then on April 10th for those that are self-employed. The stimulus package offers the self-employed and small business owners a $10,000 advance on an emergency economic injury disaster loan that does not necessarily have to be paid back if you use it correctly. Businesses with no more than 500 employees can apply for that. And then there's some other tax relief stuff that is happening too. So the delay of payment of employer side payroll taxes. Tax payments may be delayed until January 1st of 2021, with 50% owed by December 31st in 2021, and then the other half being owed in December 31st of 2022. They're waiving the 10% early withdrawal penalty on retirement accounts distributed, oh my goodness, for taxpayers facing virus-related economic challenges. And just a follow-up question to the self-employment, it has been suggested that I should apply for unemployment benefits even though I'm still working. Income is down with their business. So individuals on SSDI or Title II benefits and who are self-employed or working as contract employees do qualify for unemployment and a stimulus check. So do look into that and applying if that applies to you. So those are the questions that I had pre. Is there any other questions people have? Whether share them in the chat or texting them. And that texting phone number is 402-378-3235. Give me 1 second, I got a text. Okay, so the presentation will be available to view at a later date and time. We have recorded the whole thing. So we will be posting that too to our social and also out in email. So this will be available to you later as well. I did have someone provide a little bit more information. I think this was Nancy Flurrill. Hold on. Hey, Nancy, did you text Donna?
I did.
Do you want to share your text?
Yeah, I have a couple things I'll share. With regard to the Randolph-Sheppard program, you know, anyone that truly has employees and contract employees, anyone that's a contract employee and self-employed can apply for unemployment. But if under the Randolph-Sheppard Act, they're only paying them an hourly rate as a reader driver, the reader drivers would not qualify under that. And if they have questions, they can certainly call me. We have been having regular meetings with both the ACB and NFB Randolph-Sheppard programs and divisions to talk about these things, and we can keep them updated. We have been sending that out to the different vendors. The other thing is that, you know, probably 90% of the blind licensed vendors across the country are now out of work. So anyone that is working in that capacity, we need to be reopening their case, because when these sites reopen, they're going to be needing assistance with product, because product that's out there is probably going to expire. A lot of these businesses close quickly and didn't have a chance to necessarily remove it, or the product in there for the remaining staff that are working mandated staff. You know, like the Zrensky building only has less than 10% of its population in the building. The other thing I was just going to add, I called with a consumer to apply for SSI this week on Monday for an appointment, and we got an appointment for Tuesday. So if anyone in anyone's households that might be needing to apply for SSI or benefits in general, Social Security is very responsive right now. As Stephanie can tell you, oftentimes you can wait a very long time for an appointment.
Yes, you can.
And then anyone on the phone or anyone else viewing this later, if they are being impacted with their employment and if they have concerns about their future, because we don't know what this looks like post coronavirus, they should reach out and reopen their case. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and unmute because I know we have some that are just on the phone, not necessarily on their computers viewing. So as I unmute, if you have a question, feel free to just go ahead and ask. If you hear another person start to speak, I just ask that you be respectful and kind and let that person go, and then we'll get to you. Oh, unmute.
I have a question.
Okay. All right, who am I talking?
Okay, I have a question. I'm Thaddeus Wilkins. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hear me? I don't know. If somebody had a question, who's got a question?
Iowa. IOWA.
Got a lot of background noise.
Thaddeus, what is your phone number? Try again. What's your phone number? What's it start with?
It's 870-415-2083.
Right,
Okay, we're going to mute everybody and then unmute you.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, Thaddeus, are you there? No, I don't think I have him. Thank you, everyone, for being patient as we're trying to navigate how to make this work.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, yes, I can hear you. Okay, so I'm a photographer. I have a photography business, studio, and so forth here. And so because of this virus, of course, I've lost several $100s over the past week. Well, more than that. What is out there for me as far as any possible loans or stimulus or to help with this lapse?
Okay. Okay, so are you also a Social Security beneficiary as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll be eligible for the stimulus check that's coming out soon as well. Your Social Security benefits shouldn't stop. Like Nancy pointed out, do talk to the commission and get your case reopened so they can help you and assist you in any way too. And also, since you're a small business owner, I would look into the filing for unemployment.
Okay.
Okay, and then some of those other programs that I mentioned that they're coming out with the CARES Act, the small business paycheck protection, some of the other loans that are out there. We're gonna have a resource list that will list those and we'll send out to you guys so you can look into those too. I just have general knowledge on those. I don't have a deep dive into all of those, that the grants and loans and everything that's coming out. Utilize that list. Definitely, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me personally too, but also reach out to Nancy in the commission as well.
Okay. Now I'm sorry, your name again is, I didn't catch the beginning of this. Total beginning.
My name's Stephanie Scavdall. I work at Outlook, Nebraska.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Does that kind of help with your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. If you guys have any questions, type your phone number into the chat if you can, so that we can unmute you, or your name. Because I know we have some with background information. The texting phone number again, for those needing it, is 402-378-3235. Or if you're on video and I can see you, wave at me if you have a question also, and I'll unmute you. No, I heard other questions. Okay, so I think the best way for us to do this, just because there's a lot of feedback if we unmute everyone and we can't get questions answered, to send additional questions on our Facebook post or in our website. We also, the Vision Resource Coalition and Outlook are running a telephone hotline or helpline. That number is 531-365-5059. And that number is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you don't reach someone, you don't get a person right away, please leave a message. We do check those messages. We will call you back and answer your questions and try to connect you with any resources that could help you. We also have a screen reader friendly resource list at outlookne.org/VRC that you can access resources there as well. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Again, reach out to that helpline if you have any resources that you need. We want to help you find resources and assist you with any of your needs. I think we had a question asking for the phone number for SSI. Our local office is, hold on. I think I would have it memorized by now. I should. If you're looking for Omaha's local office, if that's the office that applies to you, that phone number is 866-716-8255. 8299. Oh, we have another question coming. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so we have a question asking how you can receive benefits from Social Security when you're working. This person happens to be self-employed, and just how to go about that process. So it's kind of a, okay, so to start that process, you would start with an application to Social Security with benefits. We'd have to look at your income. We'd have to look at your disability entitlement to see if you're entitled to benefits. Self-employed individuals have some different guidelines than those that are just generally employed. So if you have questions on that, I would love to speak with you on an individual level, because I think there's a lot of things that we have to kind of dive into when answering that question. But ultimately, it would start with an application into Social Security. So, and I think that was Tyler. So Tyler, if you want to reach out to me after this, or send me an email or phone call, my email address is scavdahl, so that's SSKAVDAHL @outlookne.org. And then my phone number is, which I should also have memorized, but I don't. My phone number is going to be 531-365-5352. And I would gladly talk to you about how Social Security benefits would work with your individual situation. I have another question coming. Any other questions? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm unmuting a caller. All right, phone number 594-6833. You're unmuted.
Hi, Stephanie.
Yes.
It's Tanya Katie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. I had a question. Okay, I received Social Security disability, and I am married. And also, my son, who's 14, he's receiving SSI. Now, how will that affect? Will we be getting, him and I both, a stimulus check?
So Social Security hasn't come out with anything on that, but is he getting SSI based off his record or your record or something?
He's getting a little bit from me. Okay. And then also he has his own because of his disability. Okay.
So again, this is an assumption, that you would both be getting a check.
Okay. And if I don't have a bank account, I do the Direct Express card. Will that go directly into that when that time comes?
Yes, that would be my assumption. Yes, if you use the Direct Express, that's where it would go, unless you filed taxes and they're going to look at your taxes. And if you had a bank account for that, for those purposes, then it would go there. But if you use the Direct Express, that would be
Okay.
where it would go.
Okay. And then for like me, myself, and I'm married, would I get the 1,200 or 2,400? I wasn't real sure about that.
Do you guys file taxes?
Yes, we did last year, but my husband wasn't working. So basically, we did file taxes, but he wasn't working at the time. And he's still waiting right now for his last year's tax print out to do our taxes this year.
Okay. My assumption would be that you would get the joint amount.
Okay, the joint amount. Now, what about my son with his SSI directly on his by himself?
Do you claim him as a dependent or?
Well,
no?
Yes, we do claim him as a dependent. Yes.
Okay.
Will he get about the 500, or I wasn't real sure. I'm just trying to get a guess kind of estimate.
Yeah. That's something that is a situation that hasn't come up yet.
Okay.
So I want to
well, because he collects I collect a little bit from him from my Social Security, and then he has his own account for SSI because of his epilepsy. So that's why I was wondering, but we did claim him as a dependent last year because he's only 14.
Oh, okay. So he would be, I would imagine he would be categorized as a dependent, and you would get the 500.
Okay, the 500. Okay.
Let me do some. I'm going to write down your phone number. Okay.
Okay,
and
that'd be great.
Let me do some checking on that.
Okay. Okay. And just let me know when you're ready. I'll give you my phone number.
Oh, I can see it. I got it on the.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah. So let me write it down. Okay, I got it. So I will get back to you, okay?
Okay, that sounds great, Stephanie. And you got my name, Tanya Katie.
Got it, yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for answering that. And I'll just, I'll look out for your phone call when you call if you can answer that question. I was just curious because I, receive Social Security disability, and then my son gets SSI on top of, what I get. So.
Yep. Nope, let me look into that specific situation or scenario and see what I can find.
Okay, that'd be great, Stephanie. Thank you so much for answering my question. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Any other questions anyone might have? All right, I don't think we have. Was there any other questions? Let's do one last call. All right, well, I want to thank everyone. We're going to go ahead and wrap up, I think. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I hope this was, again, helpful in some way and explaining some things for you. Thank you for the questions. Some I haven't thought about, haven't had scenarios like that pop up yet. We will be posting this recording and also any of those questions, their answers later as well, so everyone has access to those too. So again, just want to say the Vision Resource Coalition and Outlook are here for you during this time. We are staffing the telephone helpline. That phone number again is 531-365-5059 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Again, if you get a voicemail, please leave one. We will return your call. We will get back to you. We will get your question answered or a resource provided to you. We have a screen reader friendly resource list at outlookne.org/VRC. We will be posting the recording and try to get transcript to our website and Facebook page as soon as possible. Also kind of those helpful links that I talked about throughout the presentation, and also where I got some of my information for the presentation. If you're interested in reading more about that, that will be posted as well. Again, thank you all for joining us. Stay safe. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you, or if there's anything you need. And I hope everyone has a great day.